So, new mission initiatives. So, NMI has historically been all about starting off with the manufacturing excellence community, and we've expanded that into chip design, and in the past few years we've expanded into electronic systems. But what we realise now is that actually we've got a gloriously diverse community here, and what attracts one person is of absolutely no interest whatsoever to another. So on one hand we might have NXP, manufacturing gallium nitride and being one of the world's leading gallium nitride manufacturing locations up in Hazel Grove. On the other hand, we might have Jeremy Bennett and Embicosm doing some of the world's best compilers. What have those guys got in common? Not really hellish much, actually. But they're all part of this weird and wonderful community, but it doesn't really mean that there's a lot for them to collaborate on. So we're going to organise now, not round about a connected community, but around connected communities. So you can see there in dark grey the ones that we've already got established. We're in the process of building systems and software. We're going to be talking about some things in IoT today, and then we're certainly open to new ideas and where you think the future lies in terms of that. But one thing that we need to do is build on our core competence. And what NMI has always been about, right from the very start, is supporting operational and engineering excellence. These are bywords that we've grown up with, and we don't intend to give that up. So everything there, every topic you see there, the activities that we run and that our members derive value from today. So we've got to do this in such a way that we are building on that platform, not abandoning it, and looking towards new stuff as well. Of course, when we move beyond engineering excellence, what are we really trying to do? Well, we need you guys to cohere. We need you guys to sit down together, and we need to think and plan about how can we actually work together? How are we going to take advantage of these trends that Drew and Hussein were talking about? And how are we going to derive some leadership that's going to take strong messages and great, exciting projects forward that we can use the channels of government that we've got to help get some funding and some support behind? And what we ultimately, of course, want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is understand and influence the future. And that really lies at the heart of what NMI is trying to achieve going forward. So what is our approach? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go fast. Let me explain. First of all, NMI needs to be fit for purpose. So, in our opinion, NMI is uniquely positioned to understand your issues, to understand the landscape that we're working within, and respond to these challenges and opportunities. We aim to be the benchmark. We aim to do the best events. We aim to produce the best materials. We aim to have the best web. And we aim to have the best social networking tools. And of course, we do this all on the basis of the funding that we get from you guys. So NMI needs to grow and to achieve more. We need you and others to keep investing in NMI's future. And we're convinced that we don't do that by asking the people that we've got for more money today. So it's therefore really critical that we expand the group of companies that we are working with. So ladies and gentlemen, fit for purpose. We are not the cheapest association around, but this is a message that basically you pay for what you get. I thought that was going to have a few more laughs than that. I'm disappointed in you, ladies and gentlemen. Secondly, we need to be aligned with members. So NMI adds greatest value when we have clear dialogue and we understand your problems and your potential. We have industry professionals that understand your needs and understand the directions that you're heading in and can relate to you in a language that we can all understand. We want to be an extension of your business. We want to be addressing your care-abouts. We want to be connecting you with others, and we want to be highlighting new opportunities. So we need you to be helping us identify the things that really matter to you and you can't do yourself. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, we've already talked about and we've already seen some great examples of this. In the automotive space, we've had some fantastic success, and we're connecting chip companies right up beyond car companies, right into the highways agency. This is new ground for NMI, ladies and gentlemen. We're delighted with the progress that we're making there. It's a great template for what we want to achieve going forward. In the world of power electronics, those guys, came to us with a problem. And going back about 5 years ago, the UK produced a low-carbon industrial strategy. Do you know what the recognised contribution of electronics was in there? It was to improve the processing efficiency within data centres, and that was it. That was the contribution that UK recognised electronics could make to a low-carbon economy. What a complete and utter load of nonsense. So we started off with power electronics, and we made that a theme, and we're still driving forward with that today. We launched a national strategy in 2011, and we've been delighted to work very closely with Innovate UK on this, and Merv's here today from Innovate UK. And since 2011, I think Innovate UK have put about £100 million into calls that are relevant to power electronics and its application areas. And earlier on this year, or was it last year? Earlier on this year, we certainly seen the establishment of a virtual centre of excellence in power electronics academia, centred at the University of Nottingham, and with a not insubstantial budget of £20 million in academic research, focused entirely on power electronics. And through Power Electronics UK, working with Alistair and Paul, we continue to build that strong community and drive those messages forward. So we have a blueprint, ladies and gentlemen. We need to drive that forward. Thirdly, we need to be strategic. If NMI helps your business today with a quick fix, that's great, but that's not why NMI is here. We need to impact your business in a strategic way. We need to improve your productivity, your cost, your quality, your system performance, your system reliability, scalability, building partnerships, coherence, skills, influence. These are all big care-abouts and big strategic things that NMI needs to address. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are some big fish to fry. Next, we need to be targeted. We believe we can make a bigger difference to our existing members, and by doing so, we will broaden our appeal to others. Doing things well without additional resource means changing some of the things we do today, so we will need your help, your support, and your guidance to do that as we go forward. But like a good Stella, we can certainly try and hit the hot spots. Let's talk about implementation. I talked about ACEN, and this just gives you an example of what the Connected Corridor is proposing to do. The Highways Agency have got a major problem. They need to increase capacity on British roads by 50%. And all of their pilots on these new gantry systems are giving them great results. But my God, they're expensive. I think it's £1 million a mile is the statistic, Paul. Is that right? £1 million a gantry. And why do we need these gantries? We broadcast a speed limit up there that in the car we need to follow at that speed limit. Well, surely to goodness we can communicate with the car. We've got systems in the car that can receive that communication. Those communications can inform the driver what to do. If we wanted to go even further, they could even take control of the car. I don't think we're quite ready to get there, but the Connected Corridor proposal looks to establish a demonstrator of how wireless infrastructure can communicate with cars as going along the motorway, and we can reduce this budget of £1 million a gantry and give us some blooming good internet connection while we're going along the road as well. What about the Internet of Things? Is it a hype cycle? I think we've heard today a lot of people that believe it, and some people that are probably staking the future of their business on it. So what does it mean to us? It's about devices which sense, process, communicate, actuate. It's about systems which take account of the real world and are secure, energy efficient, aware of RF limitations, cost effective and reliable. And it's also about solutions, applications and business models that will generate growth. So we've watched the IoT for quite a while. You could go to an event on IoT every day for the rest of your life if you really wanted to, and you might be better informed. You might know it. But that's not the way NMI does things. We need to do things in a purposeful way that engages you. So we will take at least one of these challenges, and we'll start off with security. And we'll have a flagship summit on embedded software security in early Q2 at the home of the iconic home of the code breakers in Bletchley Park. So we want that to be a summit that really starts to think about how we tackle the challenges of security in the IoT and how we really start to develop business and business models here in the UK. We've also been looking at reprogrammable technologies. This is work that John Older started when he was with us, in particular, looking out into the people that look at FPGAs. So John left us earlier on this year, and Doug Amos has picked up this work. And we started off with a survey that's been open since September to look at how we just start growing online activity, making connections, sharing news, grow a knowledge base. We'll soon be moving into events, and there's our first one for next year. It's going to be on the 21st of January. And that will start to inform users and debate about some of the challenges in using FPGAs. And we'll also be forming the FPGA Frontrunners Forum, which is some of the leading developers of FPGA technologies here in the UK, and how they can see a way forward to improve the way that we use FPGAs, develop FPGAs, work to influence the vendors, all to get quicker solutions and better time to market. So when you look at this, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm quite conscious now that that's maybe not all that legible, what that says is just look at all these different application areas for FPGAs. They're blooming everywhere. We look at a snapshot of the organisations that participated in the survey. We had close to 120 different organisations, ladies and gentlemen, using FPGAs for business critical needs. Our challenge now that we want to engage you in, we need to engage you in, is to get these guys on board to do the things that you know already make sense. Because these are the people that we need to attract to work together, and we need your advocacy to help us do that. For several years now, Alistair has been leading work on what we call research, development and innovation. But there's a tremendous sort of feeling that research, development and innovation deals in too much in research, and it's just engagement with universities. So we've now made a decision to retitle that, and we are calling this Industry Technology Strategy, because that is what it's all about. It's getting you guys to cohere, to work together, to apply thought leadership, and to develop a technology strategy. Because armed with a technology strategy with industrial backing, I am absolutely sure that we can use our channels to get more support and greater impact behind that than we have before. We've built up great relationships with EPSRC, with Innovate UK. We've got great channels into biz. And I think all those organisations really respect us for our connectivity into industry and the fact that we don't jump in hype cycles and we give them meaningful messages. So we want to build even more of that, and I'm delighted to say my colleague Alistair will be leading that forward. Of course, skills. We can't have an NMI summit without skills. Many of you are familiar with the work that we've done on establishing the UK Electronics Skills Foundation. We'll hear more about it tonight, actually, and we've seen it grow even more this year. We're delighted about that. But ladies and gentlemen, there's big things happening out there in the skills domain, and one of those big things is on apprentices. And apprentices are probably something that many people in this room have not even thought of before, and are maybe not part of the way that you normally do business. But let's look at what's happening in the world of apprentices. Over 1,000 employers now are redesigning apprentices. 1.9 million apprenticeship starts in the last, since this government came into power. And you can read some of the other statistics there. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have apprentice pilots and apprentice space engineers. apprenticeships are coming back into vogue. And I would argue it presents a model that we need to look at more closely again. I don't argue that from I might argue that from a philosophical point of view, but what I really like to argue about that point of view from is just this pure money that's going into it. As you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, for expensive apprenticeships, which any apprenticeship in electronic engineering is likely to be at the more expensive end of the scale, if you're an SME and if you employ a person under 18 years old, you can get funding over the life of that apprenticeship of close to £30,000. That is quite significant, I think, by any standards. And I think that is quite a significant dent in employing a young person. We're working, our focal point, NMI's focal point in this domain, that we have gleaned with working through some of you so far, will be to look at graduate and possibly even master's level apprenticeships. We had a kick-off meeting in Trailblazers yesterday, and through ESCO, we've been able to establish an electronic systems trailblazer, as the current apprenticeships are now being called. We now throw that open, and we will be consulting and informing you about how that model's been developing. We'll be giving all of you the opportunity to get involved, but one thing is clear, we need you to get involved, or this will fall flat in its face. So I would encourage every employer in this room in the UK to consider if a graduate or a master's level graduate would be of future appeal to you by going through a model that combines the academic part of that qualification with an industrial part of it from a very early age. Maybe the first year entirely spent in university, but with the second, third and fourth years, this person coming into your business, understanding your operation, making a difference and taking that focal point back to the continuation of their academic studies. So we think this is quite significant for us going forward, and we intend to be in touch with all of you about that. A big thing that we believe that this industry needs, and that we hear from you all the time, is how we build public awareness. And over the past few years, we've delighted to be working with the team at Lionsdown to produce a Sunday supplement on the future of electronics. Chris Barkley, I'm sorry Chris, I can't hear you, but I can't see you if you'd like to stand up. Chris and his colleague here are here from Lionsdown, and if you'd like to talk to them about what's involved in the supplement that they're building aimed for the Telegraph in January 2015, then they're here this afternoon, they're here this evening. Of course, if you don't get the chance to talk to them tonight and you still want to be involved in that, just let us know and we'll make those connections. So what about our organisation? For many years, NMI has been a strong network and acting as a catalyst and facilitator for industry development. To meet our ambition for the future, we need to build an even bigger, stronger and more collaborative network, yielding greater value for everyone. We need to grow membership, and to do that, we need to pay more attention to our strategy, our resources, and the way we communicate to important stakeholders that have a role to play in your success and our success. And ladies and gentlemen, we've given that job to John as nobody else wanted it. So John always was our VP of Marketing, but doubled that up with several other roles in the organisation, and we've asked John to concentrate solely on marketing, not only NMI, but our industrial capability, because we believe both of those elements are critical going forward. In addition to all the other team members, we are also now working with a wider group, and I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce them today. So we have Stuart Jobbins leading up our systems and software network. We have Doug Amos, who many of you may remember from Synopsys and Simplicity, working with us in programmable technologies. We have Patrick McNamee of CSR, and most recently Nujira, working in packaging, QFR, quality and reliability, design for manufacture, design for test, and some of our back-end networks. And many of you in the manufacturing membership will also know that David Law left us last month, and the search for David's replacement is currently underway and is getting towards a final decision. So, ladies and gentlemen, we already have a great team. I just wanted to let you know we're expanding that team. We intend to do more, and we intend to respond to the challenges that have been set today. With your support, I believe we can do that. With your support, I believe we can do that. What I really wanted to do now was the fact that we believe that this new strategy and new era marks a different era for NMI. One of the drivers behind that was referred to earlier on by Hussein when he talked about the Scottish independence election. And John and I sat down afterwards and we thought, yeah, we are better together. But you know what? They've stolen our bloody catchphrase. They've stolen our strapline. And better together will always be synonymous with that campaign. So we both, with a bit of reconciliation, thought, yep, do you know what? We're just going to have to change. So we've now gone with a new image of NMI. We believe it's bold, and we believe it, first and foremost, does what it says in the tin. So NMI is about connectivity from semiconductors to systems, and that is what we intend to achieve. We are not about a connected community, we are about connected communities. And we hope that this Connected Communities logo will soon be seen on your email footers, and it's something that we'll be sending to you all, and we really want that to be a symbol that you are part of the connected community that NMI represents. So, ladies and gentlemen, in summary, what we tend to do here in the past is talk about what we've done in the past and the year behind. What I've concentrated on today is what we intend to do in the year going forward. I believe NMI is achieving. I think we've had a great event portfolio this year, and I think we'll have another great one next year. Through ESCO, we've made great progress in getting our Trailblazer activity. Drew talked earlier on about Excel and the fact that working initially with Alistair and building up momentum behind that, behind ESCO, we've got a bid led by Innovate UK into the autumn statement, which could see an increase in UK investment in Excel by a factor of 10. And in my time, NMI, ladies and gentlemen, I can't remember us being in any autumn statement. I can't remember this industry being part of something so significant as that. So, fingers crossed, we'll hear about that soon. We all know the signals coming out of David Cameron at the weekends that there's red lights appearing in financial dashboards all around the world, but let's hope that him and George can find some money to get some money back from Europe. So, we're developing strategy. We intend to replicate the ASIN model to build new innovation networks. The first one that we want to try is to have a meaningful collaboration in the Internet of Things, and you know, we're announcing our plans in that today. We'll continue to develop our horizontal capabilities because we believe that there's great merit in bringing manufacturing and engineering communities together to share know-how across different domains. And, of course, we will continue to work through ESCO to maintain our focus in sector representation without losing NMI's grassroots connectivity. So with your help, ladies and gentlemen, we can build the new NMI to be further reaching, better connected, and more influential than ever. We announced today our ambition that we have set ourselves as a team, and that's to achieve 1,000 members in the next 3 years. So NMI is about 270 members strong today, ladies and gentlemen. So when we look at our journey towards 1,000 members, quite frankly, we have no frigging idea how we're going to do that. But you know what? There's nothing like putting something out there as a bold target. And we intend now to work with all of you to help us achieve that. Because just think, ladies and gentlemen, how good would 1,000 companies working together, working in tandem to influence government, to achieve things together. I believe we're already punching our weight, ladies and gentlemen. But with 1,000 members, I think we could do so much more. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my call to action. Thank you.